So Anthony Joshua demolishes Francis Ngannou in 2 rounds. Dropped him in the first with a nice right hand. That's when Ngannou knew that it was real. And then finished him off with 2 more knockdowns in the second round. The final knockdown basically knocked Ngannou unconscious. Now, I always thought and said consistently in all the videos I made about this fight that Anthony Joshua would beat Ngannou without any real trouble. That's what I expected. However, I didn't necessarily think he would knock him out early. I thought if he was going to get him out of there, it would probably be late. But I can't say I'm shocked by the fact that he did get him out of there early, because I was never convinced by this whole Ngannou, the indestructible man, because he's taken head kicks in UFC. It's different when you're in a boxing ring and you're in there against a precise power puncher like Anthony Joshua, and he's hitting you on the point of your chin harder than anybody's ever hit you in the UFC. It's different, and Francis Ngannou found out that it's different in this fight, as did millions of UFC fans who are actually picking Francis Ngannou to win the fight. I mean, DAZN put up a graphic just before the opening bell, and it was something like 59% of boxing fans, let me just say, sports fans, combat sports fans, were picking Francis Ngannou to win. I thought, wow, if you're a betting man, you're going to make an absolute fortune at the bookies if this is how the odds are. I don't think the bookies' odds were like that last minute, but any of you who did place a bet last minute, let me know what the odds were. Anthony Joshua came out and he was a little circumspect early on. He was looking to see what Ngannou would do when he threw a few feints at him. Ngannou did land a couple decent jabs. He was trying to get his left hook going, but Anthony Joshua had that blocked easy. You see, the thing about Ngannou's left hook is that it's quite wide. It isn't a tight left hook because he's got those long arms. So Anthony Joshua had that blocked. He could see it coming. And so Anthony Joshua decided not to throw his own left hook, because when you throw a left hook and Ngannou's looking for his own, there's a chance he could catch you. So AJ said, okay, let me try and feint him out of position, get him to shape up like he's going to throw the left hook, and beat him to the punch with the right hand. And that's what produced the first knockdown. Ngannou actually tried to block, I think it was for the first knockdown, Anthony Joshua's punch. But again, these top-level heavyweights who are actually in shape and who have actually trained properly and who are actually have something left, excuse the car going past, like Anthony Joshua, they're going to hit you more precisely with punches than you've ever been hit before in a UFC cage, in an octagon. The quality of punching in UFC is not even on the same level as it is in boxing. It's not in the same universe. I didn't read too much into the Tyson Fury fight because, for one, Tyson Fury clearly didn't take Ngannou seriously at all. I don't care what he says about how he trained well and he had a great camp. I don't believe any of it. Just look at the shape he was in, or the shape he wasn't in. So I never bought into any of that. On top of Fury not taking the fight seriously, there's the very real possibility that Tyson Fury's actually past his best at this point. We will see when he fights Usyk. But speaking of Tyson Fury, did you see his face when the camera cut to him at ringside after AJ demolished Ngannou? Fury looked like he'd seen a ghost. I mean, Fury looked shell-shocked by what just happened there. And I know Fury, right before the fight took place, said AJ knocks Ngannou out in 1 round. But he said that being sarcastic, I think, anyway. I don't think he really believed that was going to happen. And obviously it wasn't the first round, it was the second round, but still, Tyson Fury was visibly shaken by what he saw there. I think that brought home to Tyson Fury how far off the top of his game he actually is at this point. I don't necessarily think Fury was massively impressed by AJ. I think it brought home to him how much maybe he is on the slide or on the decline. I don't want to use the word on the slide because it makes it sound like he's completely washed up. I don't know whether Fury's washed up, but he's not the man that he used to be. And the Ngannou fight showed me that. Yes, Ngannou dropped Fury, but the rest of that fight, I really wasn't that impressed by Ngannou. It just looked like Fury kind of got a rude awakening because he thought the fight was going to be easy. didn't train the way he should have trained, got clipped. And then for the rest of the fight, he was like, okay, well, I better not completely embarrass myself then. Let me just try and box and play it safe and just coast to a victory and not get too involved. If you do get involved against Francis Ngannou and you're in shape and you're a top-level heavyweight, that's the kind of thing you can do to him. Not necessarily take him out in 2 rounds like AJ did, but you can beat him decisively. And that's the way you're supposed to deal with a guy coming from UFC who has basically no boxing experience. That's the way Tyson Fury should have dealt with him. And now you see AJ did the job Fury should have done. So that's my take on the fight. AJ knocking out Francis Ngannou in 2 rounds made it look easy. And, you know, some people are actually going to get carried away with AJ now because of what he did to Ngannou there. For me, yeah, AJ is on the comeback trail and maybe he's improving. Maybe he's found a good fit with Ben Davison as his coach. But he fought a guy who is having his second professional fight. So let's not get completely carried away. One thing I will say, though, is, and a member of the commentary team, I think it was David Hay, picked up on this. When AJ was warming up before the fight in his dressing room, he was doing something which is kind of uncharacteristic of him in recent years, and that is he was leaning into his right hand when he was on the pads, hitting pads with Ben Davison. He was properly leaning into the shot. And AJ would often kind of snatch his punches. So he wouldn't fully lean in, he wouldn't put his back and everything into the shots. And when I saw him hitting the pads like that, I thought, yeah, if he connects on Francis Ngannou, he's going to do a lot of damage punching like that. But with Ngannou having that left hook, he's going to need to be careful not to overcommit at the wrong time. But he picked his spots very well, AJ. He didn't overcommit at the wrong time. He committed at the absolute right time and to devastating effect. Francis Ngannou didn't know what hit him. 3 knockdowns again, all from right hands, and the last one might be the best right hand I've seen AJ land, the way he properly leaned into it. I mean, you can see on AJ's face in the slow-mo where he's proper loading up and he launches himself into the punch, almost Deontay Wilder style. And down Francis Ngannou went out cold, and I hope he's okay. I know he got up eventually, and I think he was interviewed. I didn't actually stay or watch the interview, but yeah, he basically got KO'd there, out cold, Sparko, and I hope he's going to be making a full recovery from it. But that was a great right hand from Anthony Joshua. But again, it's a guy having his second pro fight. Let's not get too carried away, right? I always said the performance against Fury was more a matter of Fury being really poor than Ngannou being that good. And so it turned out to be. Anyway, let me know what you guys thought about the performance of AJ in the comment section below. Is it what you expected? Were you one of the people that got caught up maybe in the Ngannou hype? Or did you, like me, always feel that AJ would win the fight comfortably? Let me know what you think in the comment section below.